भारती न्यूज, सीधा, सटीक और निष्पक्ष।
Good evening and welcome. You are watching Bharati News. I am Bhavya Juneja and let's have a look at the top news stories of the day. Starting with the national headlines. Congress leaders face criticism for controversial statements following a terror attack in Kashmir's Pahalgam that killed 26 tourists. Some Congress members expressed doubt about terrorists, targeting Hindus specifically, while others called for dialogue with Pakistan. The BJP strongly condemned these remarks, accusing Congress of insensitivity and supporting terrorists. The Congress party has since distanced itself from these comments, emphasizing the need for unity and a collective response to the security situation. The government is actively considering closing Indian airspace to Pakistani airlines as New Delhi takes retaliatory measures against Islamabad following the Pahalgam terrorist attack by Pakistan-based militants. The move would compel Pakistani airlines to reroute flights over countries like China or Sri Lanka to access Southeast Asian destinations such as Kuala Lumpur, according to officials familiar with the matter. Coming to international news now. Pakistan seems to be losing sleep over a possible retaliation by India following the Pahalgam terror attack and has taken the several steps along the line of control to detect possible maneuvers by the army. Pakistani army is moving its radar systems to forward locations in the Sialkot sector to detect possible Indian airstrikes. Electronic warfare detachments of the Pakistani army are also being deployed to forward locations to detect Indian movements opposite the Firozpur sector. Fugitive businessman Mehul Choksi, who was arrested in connection with PNB Bank scam case, received yet another setback on Tuesday as a court in Belgium adjourned the hearing on his plea, challenging his arrest. The Belgian police took custody of Choksi, the second prime suspect in rupees 13,000 crore PNB loan fraud case on April 12 in Antwerp, based on an extradition request moved by the CBI and the ED. Coming to business news now. Volatility is back on the live street, but this time the market isn't flinching. Despite sharp swings in early trade, both the Sensex and Nifty managed to hold their ground. By mid-morning, the Sensex was up around 100 points and holding above 80,000, while the Nifty 50 traded above 24,300. That resilience marks a big shift from just a few weeks ago when evening of a whisper of bad news could send stocks. Gensol Engineering shares fell sharply by 5% on Tuesday after the company informed stock exchanges that the Directorate of Enforcement had carried out search and seizure operations at its offices in Gurgaon and Ahmedabad. The company's stock continued to face heavy selling pressure, falling to rupees 81.36, which is 52-week low. Gensol shares have now lost over 50% of the value in the last 1 month and nearly 90% over the past 6 months. Coming to sports news now. A polite legal letter from the BCCI has prompted the creators of a popular Australian podcast to take down every single video related to their coverage of the ongoing Indian Premier League from their social media accounts. Sam Perry and Ian Hingis, who host The Great Cricketer, received a legal notice from the BCCI and the IPL over the weekend. You may have noticed that every single video from our coverage of this year's cricket tournament has been removed from YouTube, YouTube Shorts, Facebook, Instagram and X, Perry said on the podcast on Monday. South African cricket legend Sean Pollock could not hold anything back when heaping praise on Vaibhav Suryavanshi's historic century for Rajasthan Royals. Win over Gujarat Titans was deservingly overshadowed by their newfound 14-year-old gem, who became the youngest ever to score a T20 100. A feat Pollock called the best individual IPL knock he has ever witnessed. The cricket world stood amazed, applauding as Suryavanshi's sensational 35-ball century became another inspiring chapter in the tournament's growing history. So that concludes our news bulletin for today. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned to Bharati News for continuous coverage and more updates. Wishing you a good evening and a great night ahead.